Zero Suit Samus, the shoes and the cuffs. This was my very first project with building anything, and it was a lot of fun. I totally am not just saying that because I'm happy with how they turned out and I struggle bust through the whole thing. But I did take some photos and videos along the way, so I'm going to be showing you guys how I made these. We're going to start off with the shoes, and then we're going to get to the cuffs. So, to start with shoes. It took me a while to find a good set of shoes that I liked that was the right height, but I found those on Fashion Nova. I then made a pattern with duct tape, which you can't really see here. Hated it, so I was like, I'm going to try making it with paper. That worked until I had to cut it out. I ended up making 2 copies and cutting out the first one and then leaving the bottom one as kind of a guide where things were gonna go. So these are the references that I used to get the shoes pattern. I wanted different angles and different options, but this one here is the one that I used the most. It was my favorite. And then this one for the bottom. After I got the pattern all cut out, I put it on the foam and cut out all the foam pieces and started gluing it to the shoe. This looks like it was a really fast process. I promise you it was not. I tried 2 different methods of cutting out and gluing. The first one was gluing each piece individually onto the shoe, and the second one was gluing each piece together and then putting it onto the shoe. I still don't really know which one I liked better. I ended up dremeling in between the second one to make it look more like the first one, but either method worked decently, I suppose. I tried adding some foam putty to the shoe, but it didn't really work, so I waited until I had finished all the other foam parts and then I added the foam putty. This is the first of the only 2 progress pictures I got during this entire process. Alright, after I had gotten the shoes done, I felt pretty cocky, so I was like, let me do the cuffs too. And these are some of the references that I used to look at all the different angles of the cuffs and how they were supposed to fit, and that's when I decided how to make them. I started off with just a kind of loop type thing, and I put some Velcro in the middle of it so that it could be adjustable. I don't think it really needed to be adjustable, so that's not something I would repeat for the next time, but Plastidip is a learning curve, y'all. This is the second of the progress pictures I took. I was doing a Discord call for a lot of the builds, so I didn't get many of me doing stuff, just pictures. So this was the first picture I had of both of the shoes fully completed. I wanted to get back and forth, ignore my messy game room, and I was really, really happy and excited to start painting and priming. Huge shout out to Frankly Built here. He was my go-to for any questions I had during this process, like why the heck there were bubbles all over? Turns out this stuff doesn't like to be cold. I did the clear first and it was a huge mistake, so I bought some white and went over it again because I was like, you can't ever have too much primer, right? The quickest thing that I gave up on was standing, so my shoe and the cuffs have a lot of little bumps on them, but whatever, you can only see them if you're really up close. I started painting the cuffs first, kind of my, if I this up, then at least it's not the shoes project, and oh my gosh, there's at least 30 layers of this paint on here. I had to put down white, and then I put down black, and then I put down the neon, and then the neon, and then the neon, and the neon. There's literally 30 layers of neon, and it still wasn't as bright as I wanted it to be. So the shiny that I put on at the end helped a little bit, but still not quite where I wanted it, but it worked. The finished cuffs were not too bad, and I was excited to get started on the shoes. There are a lot of learning curves in this part, but after I spray painted the shoes white, I spray painted them black to try and get back that base color. I stuffed the inside so it wouldn't get color on the inside, and then I started taping. So much taping. I taped over every single black part so I could do the detail shots for the silver and neon, which you can see here. This is all the silver and neon done. After that, I started the painstaking removal of all the tiny little pieces of tape from the black, which to my annoyance did not do a great job of keeping clean lines. So I had to go in again with my black all over every single little tight area to give it a crisp overall appearance. I wanted everything to be very, very cleanly lined up, no bleeding, crisp edges, all of that. This part of the process probably took the longest other than the whole cutting foam and stuff, but ta-da! I finished them. They came out way better than I expected them to. I was really, really happy with that. I literally finished them 6 hours before my flight to California, and they were still extremely fumey by the time I got to the Airbnb, so we had to let them air out the day before the con. They held up great, and I was super happy to be walking around with them. They didn't break until I literally was walking into my hotel room at the end of the day, so I did it! I have to fix them now so they can be worn again, but that's the problem for another time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see if there's more to come. Okay, bye!